At the Education Board meeting last night, Superintendent John Fernandez said he's been meeting with the Department of Administration to ensure that the transfer of revenue generated from the newly passed Public Law 3487, earmarked for GDOE, will go smoothly. Here's more. Fernandez says the relief is welcomed, but they still need to confirm what that cash release will be with DOA to project how much GDOE will receive through the end of this fiscal year to spend on operations. The board also approved for Fernandez and a designee to attend an upcoming education meeting in Washington, D.C. next month. There, he said they'll get a clearer picture of how much federal funding has been appropriated to Guam for education.
The news from D.C. is that the budget that Congress passed did not reflect the reductions that the president had proposed in education. In fact, we may see an increase.
He says more clarity on the budget won't be coming until next month, after the U.S. Department of Education staff is able to scrub the budget and tally up Guam's proposed allocation of funds based on the bill that was passed. He says at that time, they'll also have a better grasp on spending allocations for next fiscal year. Also at last night's meeting, the ad hoc committee gave its recommendations of other cost-cutting measures in a worst-case scenario situation, stating they didn't want to find themselves scrambling to look for ways to cut costs in the case of another GovGuam budget shortfall. Ad hoc committee chair Robert Crisostomo said they were exploring all possibilities. Crisostomo said although they were able to find enough savings in Fernandez's Phase 1 cuts this fiscal year, the projected fiscal cliff for next fiscal year was around $140 million. He said since it's not known for sure what the deficit amount will be next year, nor the contributions to that deficit, the time to plan is now. Included in their discussion was a possibility of furloughs, identifying how much money would be saved if they delayed opening schools until October 1st, and looking into the closure or combination of schools. On the latter, Fernandez said they would need to identify issues such as teachers' pay and the 180-day instructional requirement. Board member James Lujan said that although he appreciates the need for DOE to prepare, he thinks other line agencies also have to do their part.
Somehow along the line, we're going to have to say, wait a minute, those other agencies are not organically mandated, but we are. We're part of the Constitution of the Organic Act. And as long as I'm sitting here, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're not going to continue to jeopardize the education, but not only the education, but the livelihood of these students' households. You know, just because politics doesn't want to do something right.
He also said reconsolidation of schools would mean moving 31,000 students, which affects their parents and the community. He added that DOE cannot bear the financial burden of the entire government of Guam.